Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Friday, 22nd August 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. U.S. deploys 3 warships outside Venezuelan waters as tensions between the two countries reach point of concern. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. The United States has deployed 3 guided missile destroyers to waters near Venezuela in what officials describe as a counter-narcotics mission, escalating tensions with President Nicolas Maduro's government. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt branded Maduro's administration as narco-terror cartel, accusing the embattled leader of drug trafficking. Details in this Time Now World News report.
The United States has dispatched 3 Aegis-class guided missile destroyers, USS Gravely, USS Jason Dunham, and USS Sampson, straight toward Venezuelan waters. Washington says it's about counter-narcotics, but critics see a show of force aimed squarely at Nicolas Maduro. At the White House, the rhetoric has turned incendiary. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt declared that President Trump will unleash every element of American power to crush cartels, and went further, branding Maduro's government not just illegitimate, but a narco-terror cartel.
With respect to Venezuela, President Trump has been very clear and consistent. He's prepared to use every element of American power to stop drugs from flooding into our country and to bring those responsible to justice. The Maduro regime is not the legitimate government of Venezuela. It is a narco-terror cartel. In Maduro, it is the view of this administration, is not a legitimate president. He is a fugitive head of this cartel who has been indicted in the United States for trafficking drugs into the country.
Caracas hit back with defiance. Maduro, flanked by police and soldiers, announced 300 new peace quadrants, hybrid units of military, police, and civilians. Without naming U.S. warships, he invoked biblical imagery, casting Venezuela as David, preparing to strike back at America's Goliath.
The militia is integrated into all peace quadrants, term used by the government to refer to a security strategy coordinating security and communities. With a plan we are developing to activate the militia throughout the country, from north to south, from east to west, and all defensive capabilities so that no one will ever touch Venezuela.
Central to Maduro's response is the militia, a legacy of Hugo Chavez. He vowed millions of volunteers could be mobilized at a moment's notice, framing it as a patriotic shield to ensure that, in his words, no one will ever touch Venezuela. The optics could not be starker. Trump flexing naval muscle off Venezuela's shores, Maduro rallying grassroots militias at home. Both portray themselves as defenders, one of law and order, the other of sovereignty.
Governments have to ensure that those in the journalism fraternity have the space and protection to continue to tell stories across the region with integrity. But Prime Minister Barbados Mia Motley says it is essential that journalists and broadcasters understand their role in the arena, and she's urging them to establish 2 declarations on culture and educating people about their heritage to set a new path going forward on the eve of Carifesta 15. CBC's Rachel Agard attended the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's 56th Annual General Assembly and Hall of Fame induction and filed this report.
The time has come to establish a regional truth and verification mechanism. So says Prime Minister Mia Motley, who explains that while it would have local operations in each territory, it would be managed at the regional level. She suggested the idea while addressing those in the fraternity during the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's 56th Annual General Assembly and Hall of Fame induction.
It is important for you to make that decision collectively, because in the absence of it, our people will continue to be victims of scurrilous allegations, scurrilous fake news, and indeed make decisions without a buttress of any kind of factual, any tissue of truth for that matter. And worse still, because of the manipulation of AI, being able to literally put words in the mouths of people on images, God knows what our world will look like 5, 10, 15 years from now if we do not take a stance to be able to have a validation mechanism.
Prime Minister Motley reminds journalists and broadcasters that they are their country's lifeblood.
Long before social media was viral, you made us vital. You were the lifeblood of our region. I have another speech in me, not for tonight, but one that will speak to the very issue of the relationship between individual and state and technology and power. And part and parcel of what we are managing or not managing well is those relationships. And unless we come to grips with them, if we use a 1970s or a 1980s or a 1990s mindset to fight the battles of the third decade of the 21st century, we will not win them.
2 people were inducted into the CBU Media Hall of Fame, Trinidad and Tobago's Dr. Bruce Paddington and St. Vincent and the Grenadines' Christopher Laird. CBU's Secretary General Sonia Gill was also honored with an Outstanding Service Award. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
the Guyana Police Force, GPF, on Tuesday held a pre-election operational muster at the Tactical Service Unit TSU Drill Square, Eve Larry. The session comes as the nation gears up for the general and regional elections on September 1st, 2025. Tiana Cole of HGP Nightly News reports.
During the muster, Commissioner of Police Clifton Haken delivered a stern warning, cautioning officers that there will be consequences for any actions taken outside of the force's established standard operating procedures, SOP, and policies. He also emphasized the importance of the force's professionalism, neutrality, and preparedness during the upcoming elections. The Ghana Elections Commission, GECOM, has confirmed that some 757,690 electors are registered to cast their ballots at the upcoming general and regional elections, scheduled for September 1, 2025. Members of the disciplined services are set to cast their votes on August 22nd. GECOM further confirmed its readiness for the disciplined services elections, stating that all essential election materials, including printed ballot papers, statements of polls, SOPs, forms, and tally sheets have arrived from Canada. The breakdown of the ballots extracted for the discipline services will see 6,909 members voting from the Ghana Police Force, 3,106 for the Ghana Defense Force, and 466 for the Ghana Prison Service. The parties contesting this year's elections are a Partnership for National Unity, APNU, Alliance for Change, AFC, Assembly of Liberty and Prosperity, ALP, Forward Guyana Movement, FGM, People's Progressive Party Civic, PPPC, and We Invest in Nationhood, WIN. Tianico reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
In this HTS News Force report, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force is cracking down on traffickers attempting to exploit the legal points of entry who are smuggling contraband disguised as everyday products.
In their efforts to flood the streets with high-powered firearms, ammunition, and illicit narcotics, traffickers are increasingly targeting the island's legal ports of entry. They use advanced concealment methods. To disrupt the flow of illegal goods, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force's Gangs, Narcotics and Firearms Unit, GNF, has increased its collaboration with the Customs and Excise Department.
At the General Post Office in Castries, officers intercepted 2 suspicious packages. In the first, disguised as confectionery items, investigators discovered compressed cannabis resin weighing 620 grams.
The contraband, valued at approximately EC $24,800, was not the only illegal substance seized by police at the General Post Office.
In a second case, a package declared as food products was found to contain 3.44 kilograms of cocaine with an estimated street value of EC $86,000.
According to Inspector Siobhan Matthew, the joint operation with Customs and Excise then shifted to Port Castries, where more prohibited items were intercepted.
In a separate operation at Shed 7, Castries Harbour, officers intercepted a consignment of prohibited items concealed within ordinary household goods. The seizure included 2 firearms and 255 rounds of assorted ammunition hidden inside flour packets, beverage containers, and other packaging. These seizures highlight the ongoing attempts by criminal networks to exploit postal, shipping, and courier channels to smuggle controlled substances and illegal weapons into St. Lucia.
The GNF unit of the RSLPF recently suffered a major setback with the suspicious and untimely death of K9 Officer 642 Tyson, an integral member of the police force trained to detect illicit substances and contraband. Despite this loss of the police dog, the RSLPF continues to strengthen interagency alliances in its ongoing fight against criminal networks.
The concealment methods used underscores the increasing sophistication of such trafficking activities. The RSLPF remains committed to intelligence-led policing and strong interagency cooperation in order to disrupt these networks.
With traffickers adapting their methods, the RSLPF is hopeful its partnership with Customs will remain relentless in closing every gap and cutting off the illegal flow at the nation's borders.
I am Eddie Frederick, wishing you a restful weekend. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.